Hello. Hello. Welcome back to the Blitzburg Coverage Podcast. I am your host, K Freaking Mac, recording live from a Sunday. Fun day, man. It's been about a week since free agency has happened in the NFL offseason, and we have some things to dive into, some moves, trades, losses, departures, additions, things of that nature. So Sunday night, we had all received some big-time news as the Steelers had traded for Seattle Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf for a large 5-year, $150 million contract using the second-round pick for this NFL draft, and I believe swapping 6-round picks. I was pretty thrilled to hear this news. I didn't think we would actually, do anything like this. This is a massive move. DK Metcalf and George Pickens will be an absolute problem, good or bad, as they both have their concerns. They can crash out at times. And what does this mean for George Pickens' future? Well, I don't think we're going to extend him. We'll probably have him and DK this year. Might franchise tag him the next year, or we might trade him. But I think trading him would probably happen next year, not this season, because that defeats the whole purpose of even trading for DK Metcalf, in my opinion. So we got DK Metcalf Sunday night. So many reports coming out of trying to sign Fields. Russ is going here, Russ is going there. As it stands today, Justin Fields did sign a 2-year, $40 million contract with the New York Jets on Monday. Russell Wilson still is a free agent. He visited Cleveland and the Giants. Sam Darnold went to the Seahawks for a big deal. Other quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers has been linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers quite a bit. Not a fan of that move. I also mentioned the potential of signing Mason Rudolph. We ended up actually signing him a couple days ago because we had no quarterbacks in the room. And honestly, I'd be good with Mason Rudolph as QB1 this year. He's going to be cheap. He's already been here. Him and Tomlin know each other. Pickens and Rudolph have already played together. Rudolph was a stand-up guy. Doesn't say much. Just shows up, goes to work. Aaron Rodgers would cost a shit ton. At times he can be a bit of a diva. He likes to have all the attention, yet likes to just blame and point the finger at guys at times. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. I'm not denying that. But at this stage of his career, he's 41 years old. Didn't really show a lot of promise last year with the Jets, with players like Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, a decent defense, and they were a clown show. So I don't want any parts of that. I would much rather go into the season with Mason Rudolph. Let him sling it, but I know we're going to be a run first team anyways. We also signed Kenneth Gainwell, a third down back from the Eagles, who's, I think he'll be a good third down back, a good change of pace kind of guy, can catch the ball out of the backfield. He'll probably get maybe 8 snaps, 10 kind of carries a game. Not really a whole lot different in regards to how Jaylen Warren plays. They're kind of the same guy, in my opinion. Kenneth Gainwell hasn't really been a big-time starter. He was a backup running back for the Eagles. So he's relatively fresh. He's young. We did lose Najee Harris to the Los Angeles Chargers, who signed him for a 1-year deal. The Los Angeles Chargers also signed Dante Jackson. We also lost Dan Moore Jr. for a massive, 4-year, $80 million contract to the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, good luck with that, Tennessee. Unless you have some type of offensive line coach who can re-resurrect that dude. Good luck with that. You went massively overpaid him. And we also lost Nate Herbig to the Washington Commanders. We lost Van Jefferson to the Tennessee Titans. We cut Larry Ogunjobi and cleared up about $7 million in cap room. He went to the Buffalo Bills. We also lost Atlanta Roberts to the Las Vegas Raiders. And we lost James Daniels to the Miami Dolphins for a 3-year, $24 million contract. So we lost a lot of players who played snaps or had a role with this squad. I think that's about everyone that I can recall. As far as additions go, on Monday of free agency, we signed Darius Slay to a 1-year deal. I'm not really. No, if I'm not really a big fan of this move. To be honest with you, this is the upteenth time we've signed an older veteran cornerback in his waning years. He has maybe a year left, and if he's expected to be our cornerback too, this is a recipe for disaster. We saw this a couple of years ago with Patrick Peterson, old and slow, and we're going to put him out there against the T. Higgins, the Jamar Chases. If Darius Slay if we can get a good cornerback in the draft and keep Darius Slay to 40%, 50% snaps. I'm not opposed to that idea, but if we're expecting to throw him out there on the other side of JPJ and let him go to work, I can't get behind this move. We've done this so many times. Pittsburgh, Dover, it's like a temporary Band-Aid for a long-term solution. It's not going to work. You're trying to hold a pipe with a piece of tape. It's like, how about you actually make a fucking move and sign a young corner that can be here for the next 3 or 4 years? Darius Slay is literally a 1-year temporary deal, just as is Kenneth Gainwell. We're making these moves, and it's like, outside of the DK move, all these moves are for like 1 year. It's like, all these guys are going to be gone next year. So, we don't have a second-round pick this year. We got Darius Slay. We signed Brandon Echols, who's a cornerback for the Jets, a special teams player. Probably just a cornerback 3 or 4, someone that's going to be in there to potentially compete with like James Pierre or Corey Trice Jr. I don't think we made any O-line additions. No, we didn't make any O-line additions. We signed Kenneth Gainwell, DK Metcalf, no tight ends. We also re-signed Ben Skoranek. I liked that move, good special teams player. Can offer a little bit in the passing game. Scotty Miller, I guess, not really. He doesn't really move the needle. Just another, what's the point of that? And then defensively, we signed Malik Harrison, who was a linebacker from the Ravens. I'm not really sure why they did that, considering it was like a 2-year, $10 million deal. Then Atlanta Roberts signed with the Raiders for like a 1-year, $3 million deal. We could have just signed Atlanta Roberts for a cheaper price. We know him. He knows us. He wanted to be with us. So I guess they must have some confidence in Cole Holcomb returning and feel good about him and the rotation of Cole Holcomb, Peyton Wilson, and Patrick Queen. Add Malik Harrison to the room. Probably a special teams guy. Probably just a guy they're going to play in certain packages. But again, special teams depth kind of piece. Not like a starting kind of player. And I think that's about it, really. So we resigned Ben Skoranek, Scotty Miller, traded for DK Metcalf, actually, we didn't trade for another player. Signed Kenneth Gainwell, Mason Rudolph, and then Brandon Echols and a linebacker. So, nothing too spicy. Still have like 40-ish, 35-ish million dollars in cap space. I would rather just save it and see if we can add some more pieces after the draft or even this week. And just surround Mason Rudolph with whoever we can get. Obviously, with cutting Larry Ogunjobi, that definitely creates a big hole at defensive line. Even with Larry Ogunjobi, there was a hole, but I'm not sure who the starters are going to be there. You're looking at Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, DeMarvin Leal, Isaiah Loudermilk. You're probably looking at a draft selection there as it stands today. Cornerback also can be filled with the draft. There's got to be someone on their mind. And losing James Daniels cements that they must have some confidence in Mason McCormick, or that they have a couple guys in mind they want to draft potentially in the draft this April. So you lost some players, you lost some starters. Najee, Fields, James Daniels, Dante Jackson, Larry Ogunjobi. So you lost some players, but such is life in the NFL every offseason. I would really just... if there's a receiver there at 21, I'm not opposed to it. That way we have the fucking receiver room is ready to go. Then you can kind of just let Calvin Austin be that fourth guy, let Roman Wilson develop at whatever pace he's going to develop as a rookie essentially this year after redshirting. And then Skoranek and Scotty Miller can fill out the rest of the room. But you'd be looking at probably a slot guy if you're picking at one. I mean, your first pick's probably going to be a slot guy. Maybe Ibuka from Ohio State, potentially, because that's really what he was good at Ohio State. Not a big play kind of guy, but a great underneath slot option. Reliable hands, but not having that second pick definitely hurts. So you could be looking at the ability to potentially trade down from 21, maybe gain some draft capital back, and try to have some more, draft picks there. If you like some of the other second round talent that could be there in the earlier portions of that second round, or do you just take BPA at 21, whether that be a defensive lineman or a receiver? Could go that route, and then you don't pick to your third round pick. I don't know. But personally, I hope we don't get Aaron Rodgers. I hope we don't draft a quarterback in the first round. We saw that happen a couple years ago with Kenny Pickett. Outside of, maybe Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, I don't like any of the quarterbacks. Not at 21. Please don't. Don't reach. Just because you need it doesn't mean you have to buy it. Just because you need it doesn't mean you have to buy it. Nothing wrong with, hey, this is a good player. Let's get him versus, we need a quarterback, but is he really good? I don't know. We already saw that play out. And, safety doesn't come to mind. At 21, probably receiver or D lineman. Potentially a cornerback, but I don't really know who comes to mind. I'm not sure who's going to really be there at 21. Maybe a Will Johnson if he slides, but I don't know. But, count me off the band of wanting Aaron Rodgers. Too much money. He's making his weight around. It's like, make up your fucking mind, dude. You're 41. Quit playing these games. You just like having the media talking about you, the attention. And, DK and George Pickens. Now we're talking. I mean, when they actually did that, I was like, holy shit. I gotta give them credit. They actually made a fucking swing for the fences. I like it. DK's here for the next 5 years. Big body receiver. Big ass motherfucker. And why else do you think you brought him in here? Not only to receive the ball, but him and George Pickens, if they actually want to block, they will move motherfuckers out the way. We also re-signed, tendered Jaylen Warren, so he's back. I knew that was coming. We also tendered Ryan McCollum, or re-signed him or whatever. Just a decent backup center who played last year with some injuries, but we obviously need some offensive line depth. No question there. That room is very thin. Both lines are thin. To be honest with you, both lines are thin. So I expect some low-key trench moves to come before the draft. Potentially another cornerback, maybe a receiver. Probably not a receiver, though. DK was their big move. And when you really look at it, it's like you traded that second pick for DK Metcalf and having to, pay the bank. I'm not mad at that. I'm really not. Couldn't have just had that room empty after we've been trying for a while to get that room filled with a Brandon Ayuk or Devontae or, we've been trying and we finally did it, so I can't be mad at that. Give them credit for that. Colin Tomlin made it happen. Now, if you're going to get DK, actually use him, okay? I don't want to see it. I don't want to see us 4 weeks into the season and DK Metcalf has 7 fucking targets. That's my only problem is like, is Tomlin going to let us use these motherfuckers? That's just my biggest gripe. It's like, if you're going to get them, fucking use them. Because DK Metcalf can definitely be one of the best receivers in the league. He's not the best route runner. He's not good in his in and out of breaks, but he's a big body guy. Him and Pickens have very similar games, so I can see the critique on it because they are similar in the fact of, throw the ball up to him. Let them make plays. They're not going to, beat their guys with routes, but rather with physicality and the ability to win one-on-one balls, one-on-one possession type balls. And that also kind of cemented the fact to me that if we don't get Rodgers, I think we get Russell Wilson, and then there's the room. But Russell Wilson visited with the Browns and Giants, didn't get a contract. I think he's low-key waiting on the Rodgers camp, which it's just like, I don't know, man. I think there's a good chance we re-sign Russ, fill out the room. We have 2 quarterbacks on the roster. We're definitely going to add someone, whether it's free agency or the draft. I just don't reach, but we'll talk about the draft in a month. It's only March 16th. Probably the end of this podcast episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. Season 3, Episode 3, recapping free agency, DK Metcalf, GP14. Could be a good duo. We'll see what the fuck happens as we move forward. Hope you all enjoyed the podcast episode. Share it. Love it. Tell your friend about it. Tell your girl about it. Tell your friends, girls about it. Whatever. We are everywhere. Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify podcast. Everywhere. Share it. Love it. You know the name. Blitzburg Coverage Podcast. Let's go. Hope you have a great Sunday and a safe weekend. Basketball has been turned as we get into March Madness. Let's get it. We have this thing.